All right, so for these first two, we're going to do exactly like you just did on your quiz. Solve by graphing. I'm going to type it in, and we're going to click on what part of the graph. Once I type this in, where are we going to click? Not the vertex. Good vocabulary. Intercepts, x-intercepts. See, all I need for you guys to do is watch. There's no work. You're just going to type it in. So here's one of them. Here's the other. So you get x equals -3. And I want to talk about the other one real quick. Now, if you're in the back, you might not be able to see that, but it says 0.5. What is that as a fraction? 1/2. Good job. All right, so we get x equals -3 and x equals 1/2. I wouldn't really expect you to turn decimals into fractions, except 0.5 is pretty straightforward, so I figured you guys could get. Do you know some other ones? Like, do you know what 0.75 would be as a fraction? Okay, cool. Yeah, like some basic ones we would know. So again, I want you to just watch. I'm going to type that next one there. 2x squared minus 8x plus 1. And I'm going to click on the intercept. But yeah, that was it. Easy peasy, right? I was like, you always say that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so look at these ones. And I'm going to write them. I can't have my paper and the calculator up there at the same time. But the first one is 0.12917. And the second one is 3.87083. You kind of can see that here it is written on my paper. What are those as fractions? Is the correct response. You can't turn them into fractions. They are what are called irrational numbers. Have you ever heard that word before, irrational? So this is all the decimal points that Desmos gave us, but they actually keep going forever and ever and ever. It's like dot, dot, dot. It'll never stop. Kind of like pi. Do you know the number pi? 3.1415, da, 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 forever and ever. It's irrational. So the way you can get exact answers, because those are a hot mess. We don't like those, right? Is using this formula. It is called the quadratic formula. So maybe put like a little cloud around that, or hearts or stars or whatever. You do not need to memorize it. All you need to do is be able to read and plug numbers in. This is very simple. I need for you to just watch and listen. Like everything else, I'm going to explain it to you. Now, the first thing is you need to make it equal 0. Does this one equal 0? Great. Please write out what A, B, and C are. Do not skip this step. People mess it up because they skip that. And if you come up to ask for help for your classwork, do not come up here without A, B, and C written down, okay? At least do that. A is 3, B is 16, C is 2. That's it. Okay, now all you have to do is be able to read and plug numbers in. Can you see where I'm pointing right here? Okay, now listen. Do you see how it says -b? So for us, that would be, good job, -16. Now that next symbol on there, it's probably the first time you've come across that. It's plus and minus. Do you see how for this one we got, I'm going to explain it, just listen, don't talk over me. Do you see how for this one we got 2 answers? And for this one, we got 2 answers. You get 2 answers. One is for the adding and one is for the subtracting. And if you stick with me the whole way through it, I'll show you in the calculator at the end how it works. But it's a plus and a minus, and that's how you get 2 answers. Just read for me. What comes next in the formula? Square root. Good job. Now, I'm going to open up my calculator, and you need to give every number a hug, every number that you put in. I want you to just read. You don't even have to memorize it, just read. What is the first thing underneath that square root?
B2.
B squared. All right, what was B for our problem?
16.
Okay, just what? 16 squared. Cool so far? What comes next? Just read it. Minus, good. 4. Good. A is 3. You guys even put it in for me. And then C is 2. Boom. What goes underneath the square root?
232.
The calculator will do it for you. All you need to be able to do is read and plug numbers in. 232. Actually, I don't know why I made that square root so large. It didn't need to be that big. All right, almost done. Big old fraction bar. And what goes on the denominator of this? 2 times A, 2 times 3, which is 6. Listen carefully to me. On delta math, that would be your answer. You're done. But on the SOL, they're probably going to make you simplify it. So I made all mine some that you have to simplify. But you understand that on delta math, that's the answer. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. 232 is going to split. Now, I think it's 4 because I did this earlier today. Just watch. I'm going to make my table. 232 divide X. Weird table. I think it's 4 and 58. Do you see that there? 4 and 58. Now, the whole point of choosing 4 is that you can actually square root that. It's not a dead end number. It's a perfect square. So when we go and write the next step here, it's negative 16. The negative 16 is just there. It's just there. Plus minus. Now, what is your square root of 4? 2 square root of 58 over 6. The 6 is just there. And there's one more step. This is like simplifying a fraction. For example, if you have 6/10, how would that reduce? This is just an example. They both divide by 2. So 3/5. Good job. We're going to do that with our fraction, except not the square root. You're not allowed to touch what's in the square root, but these other numbers will all divide by 2. So this is your last step. Give me your final answer. Negative 16 divided by 2. Good? Okay. Plus minus 2 divided by 2, 1. If you don't want to put the 1 there, you don't have to. But I didn't this morning and it bothered everybody, so I'm going to put the 1 in there. All right, over 3. Good job. Now, if you will humor me, I will explain that plus minus a little bit further to you. You all just watch because I want you to actually understand what it is that we did. You just look, not asking you to do anything except watch and understand. I'm going to type the problem, 3x squared plus 16x plus 2. Now I'm going to type our answer, negative 8. Now I can't do plus and minus at the same time, so I'm going to just do negative 8 plus square root of 58. And then what was it over? 3. You see that there? Well, hold on, I have to do one at a time, but can you all just look up here? See how it came out to negative 0.12? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Look at when I click right here. Do you see how it comes out to that? Now watch. If I go and change it to the minus, it's going to be the other one. Do you understand what we did there? Cool. Thank you for heads nodding. All right, let's try another one. Do not skip writing out A, B, and C. If you mess up just plugging a number in, you're going to be upset. It's a very simple thing. If you can read, you can do it. All right, what's A for this? Negative 2, good. B is negative 8. C is 4. Oh, I should have started with does it equal 0? Yes, okay. So reading your formula, you don't have to memorize it. You just have to be able to read. It says negative B. That would be negative 8. So yes, that will be positive 8. Plus minus square root. And now I'm going to open the calculator and all you guys need to do is watch and follow along with me. What's the first thing underneath that square root? B squared. What was B? Okay. Every number needs a hug. Do you see how I did that? If you type it wrong, it will not give you the correct answer. What comes next? Just read it. Minus 4, good. AC. A is here 2 with a hug. C is 4. Good. 96. All you have to do is read and type it correctly. Big old fraction bar. It's over 2 times A, which would be negative 4. Good job. Now again, on delta math, you're done. That's the answer. Just type it in. Okay. But on your SOL, they're going to give you ones that you have to split. So we need to figure out what goes into 96. I think it might be bigger than 4. I don't remember. Let's see. Another number bigger than 4 that you could square root. Actually, I see it on there. Yeah, do you see that right there? 16. You real quick though, what's another number that you could square root? 16 is one. 4, what else?
8. No. No.
9 is one, what else?
I think
25 is one.
I'm the first.
144. Remember these numbers? 64, 81. Okay, anyway, 16 and 6 is the one that we want there. So 16 and 6. So when you go to put that in your answer, it's going to be 8 plus minus. The 8 is just there. And then what is your square root of 16? Because that's like the whole point. 4 square root of 6 over negative 4. And you have a third step. You can't touch what's in the root, the square root there, but you can divide all of those by 4. Good job. So 8 divided by 4 is 2 plus minus 1 square root of 6. You don't have to write the 1 over negative 1. Now, actually, I guess I fibbed. There is one more step there. That negative 1 is just going to make that 2 negative. So it's actually going to look like that. Because anything divided by 1 is not going to change. Just pick up, go and close your Chromebook and just pick up on number 5 with us. All right, for this one, we're going to list out A, B, and C like we did for all the other ones. Little tricky. A is what's in front of the x squared. There's nothing written, but there is a number there. It is 1. Good job. B is whatever's in front of the x. Now, there aren't even any x's at all. It's not even like it's 1x. There, do you see any x's there? No. So that is 0, nothing. And then C is negative 40. Good job. Read your formula. All I need you to do is read. What does it say first?
Negative 0.
Negative B. That would be negative 0, which is just 0. Nothing. Plus minus square root. Now look, I'm going to type it in the calculator. Oh, let me get rid of all this. Going to be what? Just read underneath the square root. Just read it.
0
squared is B squared. Minus 4, what is A for us? 1, and then C is negative 40. Stop, 160. You're almost going to memorize it by accident just by doing it so many times. All right, and then it's over what? Good, 2A. 2 times 1 is just 2. Again, on delta math, you'd be done. That's the answer. These ones are going to split, though. Now, I hope we don't need a calculator for this. What perfect square goes into 160? 16. Do you see that there? It would be 16 times what? 10. Good job. Now, you can write 0 if you want, but since it's nothing, you just don't even need to put anything. Plus minus, what's your square root of 16? 4 square root of 10 over 2. And then again, last step, you can't touch what's in the root. You have to leave that. But good, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So it's just plus minus 2 square root of 10. But again, what you need to understand is how many answers is that? It's 2. If you were to draw the parabola, you get a positive 2 square root of 10 and a negative 2 square root of 10. It's just going to be some weird decimal. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. All right. Does this one equal 0?
No.
No. So the first step is subtract 8. Good job. Do not skip writing out A, B, and C. I promise you, like I've been doing this a long time. People miss negative signs. They forget which one's which. It takes 3.5 seconds. Just write it out. And then all you need to be able to do is read a formula. That's my pep talk. You can do it. I mean, you don't have to memorize that formula. You just got to read it. The first thing is negative B. So for us, that would be negative 2. Plus minus Are you already done? Okay, just make sure your answer matches. All right. And now I'm going to go to my calculator. And I already have the format written out here. I'm just going to kind of change it. What was our B number? 2? 2 squared minus 4AC. What was A? 5. And then negative 8. Cool. 164. Big fraction bar. What goes on the bottom? 2A. That'd be 2 times 5, which is 10. Good job, guys. Now, as a heads up, this is not going to be 64. 164 doesn't work that way. I think it's 4, actually. Let me see. I think it's actually just 4. I know that 16 will work. I'm gonna go all the way out to 16. Yeah, see, 16 will give you a decimal. That won't work. I think it's just 4. 4 and 41. Good. All right, so it's going to be -2 plus minus. That part's just there. What's your square root of 4? Because that was the whole idea. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 41 over 10. You're kind of just recopying it. And again, you cannot touch what's underneath the square root, but the rest of these will divide by 2. So you're reducing the fraction is what you're doing. So it's going to be -1 plus or minus 1 square root of 41. This one is optional if you don't want to write it. You kind of need the first one, but this one you don't have to put that if you don't want to. Over 5. Good job.